Stocks ended the week higher despite signals from the Fed that more rate hikes could be coming. We'll take a look at how the market is reacting. And have mortgage rates finally peaked? Housing analysts seem convinced. Then Bud Light dethroned as the nation's #1 selling beer. We'll tell you who took the crown. On the Barron's Roundtable, my colleagues Ben Levisohn, Carleton English, and Jack Hough. So, Ben, the Fed talked real tough this week, but investors were not scared away.
Not at all. I mean, the S&P 500 finished up about 2.5% this week. It was its 5th straight week of gains. That's its longest winning streak since 2021. So whatever the Fed said, that, it's going to pause here, it's going to do a couple more hikes, it didn't faze the market at all. And that's probably because of two things. One, the Fed since 2000 has never stopped and then restarted. And so there's a chance that the Fed, maybe it wants to raise rates again, but it might not. And the other side of it is that the market is always looking ahead about 6 months or so. And if that's the case, it's still looking at this and saying, you know what, rates are going to peak and 2 more hikes, that's just fine.
And the breadth that you've been talking about that wasn't there in the market earlier this year does appear to be there. More stocks going up, including some dividend payers.
That's right. I mean, my favorite one here is to look at both Tesla. It had a 13-day winning streak that ended this week on Fed Day. That's pretty fantastic. Delta Airlines, though, had a 15-day winning streak, and that was after it sort of picked up after it raised its dividend, which is great and something that I think one of our reporters predicted.
Yes, last week, Andrew Berry said he thought Delta would pay a dividend. If you'd followed him, you did very well. So, but what about the sexy 7, those stocks that have been powering the market through the first half?
Well, it's hard to pull back from them right now. They really have been driving the market, and maybe they take a pause here just because they've gone up so much. But because they are such a big part of it, and they are getting such a boost from AI, I think you just have to sit tight. You might not want to chase them here, but if you own them, you probably don't want to sell.
Awfully expensive, though, a little scary. Anyway, speaking of rates may be peaking, Carleton, there is some expectation that mortgage rates have hit their peak and could go down from here. The problem is it's pretty tough to find an affordable house.
Exactly, that's it. So to Ben's point, we do see the Fed potentially lifting rates 2 more times this year. So in the very near term, you might see mortgage rates kind of bump along close to that 7% level. But the anticipation is that rates could be around 6%, perhaps even by the end of this year, as we get more stabilization and certainty around the rate picture. But the other thing is 92% of mortgages have rates of less than 6%, and housing prices are still 37% higher than they were before the pandemic. So people don't want to sell the houses that they have, because unless you're going to be downsizing drastically or moving in with family or something, you're going to have to be buying into a very challenging market.
Yeah, nobody wants to do that. Through all this, though, investors might have some opportunities.
Yeah, so one spot to look on that demand side where existing home sales are going to be tough. You want to look at a home builder like Lennar. They were out with earnings this past week, beat on expectations and also raised guidance. The other spot to look is mortgage bonds. So there's 2 bond funds that you might want to look at, one from Double Line, which is DLTNX, or one from PIMCO, which is PMZIX. Both yielding more than 5%, and with inflation coming down a little bit, from those highs of 9%, we're a little above 4% now. 5% yield is not a bad spot to be in.
Yeah, and if you don't like paying that high mortgage rate, you can take the other side of the trade and get paid that high mortgage rate.
Exactly. Why wouldn't you want to do that?
Okay, Jack. The old king of beers has been dethroned. Who is the new king?
Shocker coming up. Modelo Especial is the new top-selling beer in America. Modelo Especial. Like, everybody kind of figured, Bud Light was getting hit by that boycott, so that fell out of #1. If I told you that the new top-selling brand is Mexican, you might be surprised. If I told you it's Mexican and not Corona, I mean, who would have thought Modelo Especial? Here's how it happened. The Hispanic drinking age population in the U.S. has been growing much faster than the non-Hispanic one, and there's been a trend toward premiumization. Help me say that. Premiumization.
I don't think that's a word.
Modelo is the corporate premium cousin to Corona. And so that has been gradually gaining sales. It passed Corona in the U.S. There's an irony here, right? This is an American beer icon, Bud Light, but it's been European owned for 15 years, right? And the company that bought it, it's now Anheuser-Busch InBev. That company also bought Grupo Modelo, which makes Corona and Modelo. U.S. antitrust regulators said, hang on, that's way too much beer. You have to sell your U.S. operations. They had to sell it to someone who's non-threatening. Along came this company called Constellation Brands. Constellation was best known for, I don't want to say cheap booze, but cheap booze. The company got its start in 1945 selling something called Richard's Wild Irish Rose, which, let's just say, it pairs well with a brown paper bag. So it had this, spirits and wine portfolio. it just 10 years ago happened into what has become the best place to be in America, which is these Mexican brands. They've been tremendous growers and made a ton of money. So, you know, an American beer icon that's now technically European has been dethroned by a Mexican brand that's arguably American.
You have to say that a few more times, but I will say that they only have 10% share in 4 states. So Constellation has a lot of room
for
to grow.
growth.
Absolutely.